Let us all quietly remember the mother, close our eyes, the next 45 minutes, every second we give to the mother. Om Anandamayi Chaitanyamayi Satyamayi Parame. Om Anandamayi Chaitanyamayi Satyamayi Parame. Om Anandamayi Chaitanyamayi Satyamayi Parame. Thank you. So in your topic on the expansion and widening, Mother Sri Aurobindo has written a lot on this. Basically to get out of our little self and be our true self. Not get stuck up in the pinpoint ego personality, but expand what personality Mother Sri Aurobindo holds. Try to become that. So we will, through Mother Sri Aurobindo's quotes, their love, their guidance, we will go through this today. So Mother says, we are all a partial being. We are not complete. Our aim is to become that complete being. Our mind keeps chattering. Our emotions are volatile, up and down. ஏதாவது ஒரு சின்ன விஷயம் நடந்தா அதில் ஃபோக்கஸ் போயிடுறது. Why we are here, the goal of our journey, that's very, very vague. So we are not a complete being. Only when we become the divine, that's when we are the complete being, the full being. Mother says, we must advance, climb greater heights, and go beyond the seeking for pleasure and personal welfare. We must develop a new sense of beauty, a thirst for truth and light through understanding. That is only by widening yourself, illumining yourself, setting yourself ablaze with the ardor for progress. Then you can find integral peace and enduring happiness. We must not be contented with our limited personality, our limited things. Always we should seek for growth, for progress. We should live in that light of the soul, always wanting to conquer. மதர் ஒரு இடத்துல சொல்றாங்க, நம்ம சைக்கிக் பீயிங்க வந்து கண்டுபிடிக்கிறது, இட்ஸ் லைக் டிஸ்கவரிங் கான்டினென்ட்ஸ். அந்த மாதிரி யூ ஷுட் ஹாவ் தட் கியூரியாசிட்டி, தட் சர்ச், that ardent flame, அவ்வளோ ஸ்ட்ராங்கா it has to burn, and we should seek to get out of our little self and mix and mingle in that wider self. நீங்களாம் பார்த்துருப்பீங்க, there is a beautiful painting of Preeti Ghosh. I think our society office பாண்டிச்சேரியில இருக்குன்னு. மாதிரி Sri Aurobindo ஃபுல்லா அது gold, it's completely gold, yellow, orange shades. And அதில் Sri Aurobindo depict பண்ணியிருக்கு. So basically It's full of mountains, golden peaks, mountain after mountain, peak after peak. And Sri Aurobindo is standing somewhere in the middle. So if you see that, it is basically, he's not satisfied climbing this one peak, but he's going far, wide, to many, many, many peaks of spiritual achievements, many things for the whole humanity. So we should just not be satisfied in where we are, but always that seeking to climb greater heights. We hold out our hand, Mother is there to lift us up and make us do that climb. Give the necessary equipment through her beautiful qualities, the 12 qualities which she's bringing. Through all that, we can make this beautiful climb. Mother says again, widen your consciousness to the dimension of the earth, and you will find a place for everything. Once we have become wide in ourselves, everything will have a truth. There's no shrinking. There's no saying this is good, this is bad, I like this, I like that, living in the preferences, living in our ego state. Everything is talking about the divine. The Pesamode, I'm thinking of Sri Aurobindo's Vasudeva experience in Alipur jail. So he's described so beautifully. The tree above him was Sri Krishna. The blanket which he wore was Sri Krishna, my Vasudeva. The wardens were all Sri Krishna. The judge was Sri Krishna. The other inmates, the dacoits, everywhere he saw Sri Krishna. And he said that during the jail experience, one mantra was constantly with him. Isha Vasyam Idam Sarvam. Half a mantra of the Isha Upanishad's first shloka. Everywhere the divine is there, everywhere he's present, everywhere he's pouring his love on us. So when you are in that consciousness, everything is joyfully playing. You all will know the story when Yashodama sees Sri Krishna, tells him to open his mouth. In that little mouth, the whole universe, worlds after worlds, planets, everything, the whole creation is there. And also we know about Gita, the Vishwarupa Darshana of Sri Krishna. All the gods, all elements of nature, everything, the entire cosmos. Arjuna sees all the Kauravas getting already churned in his mouth, in fact. Everything is already done in one plane of consciousness. Coming to our mother, I think I've told this in one of our talks when we met. Once Hutta asked the mother, Mother, can I see you in your real form? The Adi Shakti, the Mahashakti, the true you. Can I see you, Mother? Will you give this little being that small glimpse of the real you? Then mother said, okay, come tomorrow at this time. I will show you. So mother actually revealed herself just for few seconds to Hutta. And Hutta, she was completely in a different zone. She was not able to bear it. Such power, so much light. Everything the mother is holding within her, and for us children to bear it, she's hiding that. Otherwise, we will not be able to bear it. Even the few seconds, she was completely shaken, and just like what Arjuna said, Said, I would like to like that sweet mother, like a friend, like a counselor, a guide, like a true mother, like how a mother would be. Ma, come to that form. This little body cannot hold. So that's how the widening, that wideness, Mother Sri Aurobindo is bringing to us. And also one place Mother says, this ashram is a very small part in my whole being. Imagine the mother, wide, big as the universe, as big as several universes put together. And what is Pondicherry? What is Pondicherry ashram? She's saying, in that, in my divine body, it is a very small part. It is somewhere in the region of my abdomen. So that is what we are talking, that kind of wideness. In another context, she says, when that so much of power, love, beauty, grace she's put in the air of Pondicherry, she said, when you breathe this air, you are breathing my consciousness. Even now, எப்போ பாண்டிச்சேரி போனாலும் all of us, I'm sure we'll have this experience. We are breathing mother. She's pouring so much of her consciousness. And she tells her experience when she was coming back from Japan, around 10 nautical miles, which is much more than kilometers, as she was entering the limits of Pondicherry, she could breathe the aura of Sri Aurobindo. Again, she says, it doesn't matter where you are. Even if you're in Pondicherry or in France, Japan, London, wherever you are, if you have turned to me, I have bound you with that golden chain and you can live in me. Once one sadhak asked her, Mother, I want to get my whole family to ashram. I want everybody to live here. The mother said, I really wish, dear child, I can do that. I wish the whole world to be here. Then again later, at a later point, she told, whoever has inwardly declared themselves, declared is not a very apt word, inwardly knows that they are the child of Mother Sri Aurobindo, wherever they are, that place is the ashram. That is the grace of our Divine Mother. Then in her own childhood, when she was about 13 years old, some of you would have read it in prayers and meditations, she says, in the nights, she said, all these nights would be very interesting for me. I would go to different places, meet beautiful people, do different things. So she says, when I was 13-year-old, her gown, her dress would spread over that entire city, everywhere. That golden gown is just spreading. And anybody who came in contact with it, anybody who touched that gown, would feel very relaxed, revealed, all their tensions, their miseries, their littlenesses, whatever they were going through, they would just forget it the minute they touched the mother. So her gown is continuously always spreading. All we have to do from our side, that little personal effort, is to lift our hand towards her, towards her light. And she says, now that there is a supramental world, all we have to do from our side, that little personal effort, is to lift our hand, to move our head towards her light. And she says, now that there's a supramental world, It is already there. It has touched the earth consciousness. அடுத்த வருஷம் it is the leap year, 29th February, the anniversary for the supramental descent. Because of the very pressure of the supramental, it will manifest new powers of the spirit. The physical plane would have the freedom and infinity of the superconscient divine. And even when the descent actually happened on 29th February 1956, there were so many people, not particularly in the ashram, but elsewhere, who were not turned directly to Mother Sri Aurobindo, but who could feel there's some new thing in the atmosphere, something has happened. But unfortunately, some of the sadhaks who came for that playground meditation, all of them, Mother says that finale of why Mother Sri Aurobindo came here, by what so long Sri Aurobindo has been working, Mother has been working. That light, when it descended in the earth, Mother expected everybody to be in awe, literally flying, literally carried by that force, like the physical feeling it. But people were just folding their mats, getting ready, packing up, and going out of the playground. So that's how the receptivity from our side, that receptivity, it's what widening, making that reception happen in every part. Mind la irukattum, vital la irukattum, physical la irukattum, in every part. But still 5 people in the ashram and few more outside the ashram felt that. And that's why the pressure or the importance of working on the body, so important. When such a grace, such a light comes, your body should not crumble, but be able to receive it, and eventually, how Mother wants us to be, become that golden divine body. So she says, as our consciousness changes into the height and depth and wideness of the spirit, the ego will no longer survive. And she also says, among human beings, the most widely spread disease is mental narrowness. Now we'll see like what Mother has told, literally practical guidance, how we can expand, how we can widen to bear the light that Mother Sri Aurobindo are always giving. She says, when you feel shut up in a completely narrow and limited thought, will, consciousness, when you feel as though you are in a shell, if you begin thinking about something very vast, for example, the immensity of the waters of an ocean, you think of this, then you will feel that you're floating on the sea like that. In our day-to-day affairs, in our day-to-day problems, if we feel stuck, narrow, I think because of that stiffness we have only, the body also indicates sudden headache, something going on in the stomach, everything. The body is used to being wide, but we make it, pull it and put it into some narrow canal, and the body reacts in weird ways. So she says, when you feel like that, think of something very vast. Just think of the immensity of the waters in the ocean. Imagine yourself floating on this sea. For most of you living in Chennai, and also so accessible to Pondicherry. Just being in front of that sea, the vastness of that sea, the vastness of the sky, the sea. Now, 1 month back, Pondicherry and the Mode, I was sitting by the sea, and I really felt for few moments that wideness, that presence, the mother's presence in the blue of the water, in the blue of the sky, and suddenly the moon rising and the sun setting. It was so beautiful. Like, forget about yourself, forget about your little things, your relationships, your work, or whatever is going on. But just be one with that, one with the beauty. Because that is already in connection to its source. That's why for us it's easy to connect our source to that source. It becomes very easy. And she also says, imagine yourself standing on the mountain ridge, just feeling that wideness, that all pervasiveness, the nameless vast in nature. Then suddenly there comes a touch, a revelation, a flooding. The mental loses itself in the spiritual. One bears the invasion of the infinite. What a beautiful sentence. Invasion is invading, conquering. That is its home. It is coming into you. The divine comes into you when you open up, when you are wide. One more nice way to get this, a practical guidance. Lie flat on your back at night in the outdoors and look at the stars and try to identify yourself with them. You will go away into an immense, deep world and lose completely all sense of proportion, of the order of earth and all its little things, and become as vast as the sky. We also see practically in many places in the West, 8, 9 months, they don't get to see the sun so much. And also, research says that many people there are more prone to depression because that vastness, the sun, the light, that vibrant air, the warm air, to an extent is missing. We should be, thankful, grateful that Mother has placed us here, where these natural wonders are so easily accessible. Then going to another section. In our practical life, in terms of work, Mother says you should get interested in many things as possible. She said, for example, I did painting, I did music, I didn't specialize in one thing, but you can do many things and try to get the truth of everything into you. He also says, if you get an opportunity to travel and see many places, that will also widen your consciousness. In this day and age, we are all fortunate that we have internet. If we don't need to physically make so much of an effort to see, countries far away and all. We can just see beautiful videos. There are these northern lights in Alaska and few other places. Can't When you see that, even a non-believer of God will feel, yes, some presence is bringing these colors. It is so, so beautiful. You can see pictures of snow-capped mountains, meadows, whatever. It just helps us to widen, and experience that place in that small screen in front of us. And one more guidance which Mother is giving. When you feel something is painful or very unpleasant, If you begin to think of the eternity of time and the immensity of space, like what she said earlier, eternity of time and immensity of space, that whatever you're feeling, that is equivalent to a second in eternity. It is just like a passing breath. Long back, there used to be this video. It was called A Blue Dot. So, our Earth is a small blue dot in this wide, big universe. But for us, our life, our problems are very, very big. But when you see in proportion, Earth is just one tiny speck, one small dot in that immensity of things. So she says, whatever painful situation you're going through, think that it's just a second, it's a passing breath. Don't give any importance to that. Just like a fly which comes and just make sure it goes and sting it away. It's so ridiculously ridiculous to get upset by something in the eternity of time is so small. Picture the little person oneness, this little earth where oneness, and the tiny second of consciousness for the moment is hurting you or is unpleasant to you. Which in itself is only a second in your existence, and you yourself have been many things before and will be many more things afterwards. This one sentence. You have been many things before. You have, whatever you are, you are evolved through so many lives, and there are more lives till all of us become that supramental being. There are so many, many lifetimes to go through. But this one problem in this life, that you make it hover over you. In Mother's balcony darshan, she used to see people and she would know the lives they have been through and the lives which are coming. Sometimes she would refer the name as the life which is about to come, and she'll definitely know the names before that person has gone through. All of you must be knowing Dara. If you listen to Alok Das talks, he generally brings his name. So he was Aurangzeb's brother, and in this life he was born again in a Nizam family or something in Hyderabad. And he, even in his previous birth as Aurangzeb's brother, he had a keen interest in studying the Indian scriptures and all. So mother would always refer to him as Dara and not the name which he got in this life. He would keep saying, Mother, I'm not Dara. I know you are Dara, she would say. Little bit of digression. Once Dara, when he came to the ashram, he told, Mother, give me some work. What can I do? And she said, I'll give you one work. That is to be happy. Just be happy. That is your work. How beautiful. We can imagine Mother is telling all of us, don't worry about little things. Just be happy. Just imagine Mother's smile. Many of you would have seen Mother's smiling picture, her laughter. Recently, I heard in, I think, Agenda, some of the recordings. And there's a very beautiful channel by Aravind Akki, who is part of the physical education department. Many of you must have already seen it. He puts Mother's recording short bits on different topics. That one day I was listening. And when we read Agenda or some of the text, bracket la potrukkum, laugh, mother laughing, laughter, silence, smiling, like that. So there in that video, you could hear Mother laughing. It was so beautiful, so beautiful. If you can only remember, at least visualize mother's eternal sunlight, smile, and imagine if we can get a chance to hear that like tinkling of bells, that sweet laughter of mother. If we just do these small things and be truly her child, like nothing else is of any importance. And she gives another way for all of us. So many methods, imaginations, visualizations. Just dip into that, and after 5 minutes, you come out as a different person. She says, we are all like a tightly folded cloth. The parcel that is too well tied, well packed. So, what you need to do is slowly, gradually undo all the folds and stretch yourself out exactly as one unfolds a piece of cloth or a sheet of paper and spreads it out flat. Imagine we are all like folded, many times folded cloth, and she's saying, layer after layer after layer, remove that and be flat, lie flat, make yourself wide as possible, spreading yourself out far as possible in complete passivity, and face the light. And face the light. Open yourself up wide, bare, open and face the light, not curling back on your difficulty. Curling back is that folded, tightly folded state of our being, not curling back on your difficulty, shutting it in, so to say, into yourself, but on the contrary, unfurling yourself as much as you can, as perfectly as you can, putting the difficulty, putting yourself directly before the light which comes from above, before the light which comes from above. The same way, if you can just write down all that which is going up, problems, layer after layer, it's like unfolding, it's like opening that to the mother. That is also a way of unfolding and asking for her light, asking for her intervention. It's a very beautiful practice. If all of us can do it like once a day, it'd be very beautiful, especially just before sleeping. All the events happen in the day, pouring your gratitude to mother and asking her guidance in something, telling her tomorrow this is going to happen, be with me, whatever you want. If you're going through a difficulty, you're feeling closed up, simply write, sit in front of mother's photo and write. That way you are opening more and more to her. And one more method she says, especially when we are having a different point of view from another person, we are not able to come to a conclusion. So she says, in that case, you broaden your thinking. The same situation can be faced in different angles. It's not your way. Again, your ego is coming. This is the way, this is how it should be, this is the law, this is the right. No. The other person will also have an equal truth, which we have to broaden and see, and like just let go and not be so fixed on what we want. Slowly things will unfold, and maybe mother through that other person is suggesting something different, something beautiful. We should maybe be a little open to give that a chance. The next thing she says, to widen your consciousness, do something every day, some activity, some work, something which is not done for oneself. And above all, something which is an expression of goodwill for all. So I'm sure many of you, all of you, if you are going to your center, just placing 2 flowers, just spending time there, interacting with devotees during Darshan day, cleaning, helping, arranging, whatnot. You can do that for the mother, not for yourself. Anything outside your little circle, that also expands and widens you. So she says, our inner being is always plastic, more powerful. So we have to be constantly in touch with that. And she says, a widening enables you to understand everything and love everything. Like how we told in the beginning, when you are wide enough, there is place for everything. When your consciousness is as wide as the dimension of the earth, you can love everything, understand everything. In Savitri, there are a few lines how mother accepts and loves even the asuras, and how these asuras, actually Narad in his song, when he comes down to the earth and he has the conversation with Ashwapati Savitri and Ashwapati's wife. So when he's descending to earth, he's singing a song. In that song, this comes how these asuras are also waiting for the mother's touch. I'll just read these 3, 4 lines. Foreseeing the end of their long, dreadful task and the defeat for which they hoped in vain. The asuras hoping to be defeated, and only one person can defeat them, that is the divine, the all powerful, the mother. And the defeat for which they hoped in vain, and glad release from their self chosen doom, and return into the one from whom they came. And return into the one from whom they came. These asuras are waiting. They are given a particular job to do. They are doing that is to oppose the divine. But they are waiting when that end will come so that we can run back, rush back into the divine's arms again. And another place in Savitri, Mother says, a mother's eyes are on them, and her arms stretched out in love desire her rebel sons. One who came, love and lover and beloved, eternal, built himself a wondrous field and wove the measures of a marvelous dance. The mother's eyes are on them, and her arms stretched out in love desire her rebel sons. Mother's arms are stretched out in love for all her children who are just saying, I want to go against the mother. I want to fight the mother. And they're all little childishness. But all that also mother sees and she loves them and stretches her hand and she protects them. Reading all this, you can remember the quality of equality. Everything is seen as the divine. Equal peace, equal calm. If everything has the divine face, like the Vasudeva experience of Sri Aurobindo, where is the difficulty? Where is the shrinking? Everything is the Lord, like in this sentence, wove the measures of a marvelous dance. Everything is a marvelous dance. And we know in the book, The Mother, how Sri Aurobindo describes Maheshwari. She is that epitome of wideness. I'll just read some lines. Imperial Maheshwari is seated in the wideness above the thinking mind, like what Mother said. Any small incident, anything you feel stuck and closed up, your thoughts are whirling only around that. Open up, open to the sky, open to the vast ocean, open to the singing of the birds, open to the flowers. So Maheshwari is seated above that thinking mind and will and sublimates and greatens them into wisdom and largeness and floods with a splendor beyond them. For she is the mighty and wise one who opens us to supramental infinities and the cosmic vastness, to the grandeur of the supreme light, to a treasure house of miraculous knowledge, to the measureless movement of the mother's eternal forces. Tranquil is she and wonderful, great and calm forever. Just reading these lines, I'm reminded of adoration of the Divine Mother Savitri, how Sri Aurobindo describes her. What grandeur, what scale. She says, the mother at the head, she stands of birth and toil and fate. In their slow round, the cycles turn to her call. Alone her hands can change time's dragon base. Mother is above everything, birth, toil, fate. And that mother, she's descended for us to hold our hands and take us to those beautiful realms. So, now what do we do in our sadhana? Like, how to widen? This was more like even generally, how to widen the mind, how to connect with nature, but everything can still be mixed. But there are few things Mother has told, small sadhana practices. So she says, she try to be more and more quiet and hold whatever comes without getting too excited and eager. Human natures are generally restless, desiring, eager, unstable. Stand back from it. Do not allow it to govern or move you. There is a right part of the vital which must be used, ardent, sensitive to higher things, capable of great love and devotion. Use that part of the vital which is sensitive to higher things, capable of greater love and devotion. Reading this uh, image of Hanuman Anjaneya comes to our mind. So you can see Mother says Hanuman is a symbol for devotion. He carries that immense devotion and love for Rama. He will do anything for him. One funny thing about Hanuman, he is so capable. He can move mountains. He can just do anything. But he didn't know for himself that he has so much of power, so much of potential. The others had to encourage him and motivate him. So when he goes on his journey to meet Sita, find Sita, so he has to cross the the ocean, and there are many obstacles which come in his way, and one of it is Sursa, that huge snake. So Hanuman plays with him, like tricks it. He suddenly becomes too small or too big. The snake is trying to capture him, but it cannot. So he's just playing with his size. So that's a flexibility, also that plasticity that vital can do to whatever. Be so receptive to that force and be whatever, and somehow avoid that situation. And his goal was certain. I cannot debate with this guy, waste my time. All I need is to go find my Sita. So he plays that little game and goes. In another case, when he had to get the Sanjeevani booty, he became as big as that mountain so that he'd be able to carry it, right? So when we bring into our life context, if anything we feel troubled, so we have to just imagine ourselves much bigger, like how Mother says, a tiny second in eternity. So we are much bigger, we have so much potential, we have Mother's protection, we have her force, we are Mother's child. How can we fear anything? I have this small note in my table. When the grace and protection of the Divine Mother are with you, what is there that can touch you? And whom need you fear? With her backing, her love, Anything can be transcended. And again, true surrender, just like Hanuman, should have that true surrender, everything at your feet. Be that flower which is surrendering to the light, rain, sunshine, snow, whatever it is, its work is to bloom. That's all. True surrender, like the baby cat which mother speaks of. The baby cat will allow the mother cat to hold it. It is not making any effort. Whereas the baby monkey will cling on to the mother. That monkey is holding the mother. The baby cat is completely surrendered. Oh, you are there, you're holding me. What am I to do? I'll just happily come on this ride. It's like that. Talking about the cat, I remembered one incident in the ashram. Basically, there was this one cat. அது அப்பதான் குட்டி போட்டிருந்தது 4 or 5 small babies, and it was highly protective of the kittens, and it didn't know what to do. For 2 to 3 days it was completely surrounding the kittens, watching them, feeding them, but it never stepped out for its own purposes, for its own food, for its nature's call. Nothing. It was, I think, born in the ashram courtyard. I'm not very sure. Somewhere close to the mother. And then one day, when mother was sitting, one by one kitten after another kitten, it placed it at mother's feet. Literally placed it at mother's feet. It's like, now I have no worries. I can go out, do my thing, come back. I know my babies will be looked after. So that kind of surrender, self-giving is all that we need to aspire and pray, and moment to moment call her, remember her. Every breath try to remember her, or try remember her. And I'll just conclude with last few lines from Savitri. Reading this, you'll be taken into that supreme vastness. How Sri Aurobindo writes them. His soul must be wider than the universe. His soul must be wider than the universe and feel eternity as its very stuff. Feel eternity as its very stuff. Rejecting the moment's personality, knowing itself older than the birth of time, creation and incident in its consciousness. Archytas and Belphegor, grains of fire. Archytas and Belphegor are actually huge galaxies. He's saying even those huge galaxies, in that wide consciousness, they are grains of fire, sparks of fire, circling in the corner of its boundless self. The world's destruction, a small transient storm. In the calm infinity, it has become. The world's destruction, a small transient storm. World's destruction, a small temporary storm. In the calm infinity, it has become. Now the world is facing few wars, right, here and there. If you see in the light of the Supreme, that is all being played out in the Supreme's body. That is also a small storm. If you see the Vishwarupa Darshana of Mother and Sri Krishna, that Kurukshetra battle is a small thing, a trivial thing, a little fight, little storm. In the calm infinity, it has become. His soul must be wider than the universe and feel eternity as its very stuff, rejecting the moment's personality, knowing itself older than the birth of time, creation and incident in its consciousness. Archytas and Belphegor, grains of fire, circling in a corner of its boundless self. The world's destruction, a small transient storm. In the calm infinity, it has become. Thank you very much. Praying that Mother's blessings, love, protection, always with all of you. Thank you, and have a beautiful year in her light, in her blessings. Thank you.